Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into a market that's basically shaped the modern world?
Silicon Valley.
You got it. Silicon Valley commercial real estate.
I'm in. It's a fascinating beast, even if you're not exactly a techie.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool? You sent over some awesome sources, including this podcast transcript, Navigating Commercial Real Estate in the Tech Capital.
Oh, yeah, that one was packed with insight.
Totally. It's like a backstage pass to this whole world. What struck me right away is how diverse it actually is.
Hmm.
We always picture these endless rows of sleek tech offices.
Right.
But the source mentions everything. Industrial properties, retail spaces, even a huge surge in life sciences, which I found super interesting.
It's true. Silicon Valley real estate, it's kind of like a chameleon,
I like that.
It's adapting to all these different industries. Like, take the industrial sector, for instance. E-commerce has exploded, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Warehouses and logistics centers, they've become essential.
Yeah, so it's not just about the coding gurus anymore.
Exactly.
But okay, let's talk offices for a sec. There's been so much buzz about remote work killing the traditional office.
Yeah.
Did it back that up?
Well, it's a question everyone's asking, right? But surprisingly, the Silicon Valley office market,
Okay.
it's alive and kicking. What's happening is a shift. Like, companies still want a physical space,
Right.
but they're looking for flexibility, spaces designed for collaboration.
Yeah, the human connection. You can't beat it.
You can't.
I bet those co-working spaces are playing a big role here, right?
Meh.
The source mentioned WeWork.
Absolutely. WeWork and companies like it, they've tapped into this need for adaptable workspaces, right? Short-term leases, different layouts, that built-in community feel.
Yeah.
It's appealing to startups and big companies alike.
Yeah, it makes total sense. But it's not just practicality, is it?
No.
Silicon Valley is all about image and innovation, right? The source even called these tech campuses modern-day castles.
It's a pretty fitting analogy.
Right.
You've got companies like Google and Apple building these sprawling campuses, outrageous perks, gyms, gourmet cafes, childcare.
Right.
It's about attracting the best talent, but it also plays into this idea of the company as like a self-contained world.
It's like they're trying to create utopia. But are they actually fostering innovation? Or is it more about, keeping employees tethered to their desks?
That's a good question. I think it's probably a bit of both. You've got these campuses designed to spark creativity, engineers bumping into designers at the juice bar, like sparking unexpected ideas.
Yeah, I love that.
But there is a risk of creating this bubble where people don't venture out as much.
So it's a balance.
There's definitely a balance.
And speaking of balance, we can't forget about sustainability. It's practically a religion in Silicon Valley.
It's more than a trend there. The source highlighted how green building certifications, energy efficiency, sustainable materials, they're all standard practice.
So it's not just about, being eco-conscious.
Yeah.
It's good business sense. It attracts investors and tenants who care about those things. Okay, but here's something that really caught my eye. The booming life sciences sector. The source talked about this surge in demand for specialized lab space.
It's a trend to watch.
It is.
Silicon Valley is going beyond software and apps. It's becoming this hub for biotech and pharma. You've got all this tech talent, venture capital, a culture that loves risk. It's perfect for breakthroughs in healthcare and beyond.
And this ties back to those mixed-use developments, right? Like, if you're a scientist working late in the lab, wouldn't it be great to have your apartment, a grocery store, maybe even a yoga studio, all within walking distance?
Exactly.
Genius.
These live work play communities, they're a big draw for younger workers who want convenience and that vibrant urban lifestyle.
Makes total sense. Okay, get ready for this. The source totally geeked me out on how technology is literally transforming real estate itself. AI, property management, smart buildings with sensors that adjust lighting and temperature. It's like sci-fi.
It really is. It shows how Silicon Valley's innovation is influencing every industry, even something as, traditional as real estate.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. But let's be real. This market sounds super complex and competitive. If you're not a total pro, wouldn't you get lost?
Probably.
Yeah.
The source really emphasizes having a clear strategy. Working with local experts, being ready for rapid change, it's key.
So no jumping in blindly.
No.
But even with all the tech and trends, I feel like one thing remains constant. Location, 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 right?
Absolutely. Being near the major tech hubs like Palo Alto and Cupertino, it still drives value. But it's not just about the big companies anymore. Access to transportation, being close to urban centers, tapping into that Silicon Valley energy.
Yeah, that's the vibe. It
Yeah.
sounds like navigating this market, you need to understand the physical landscape and the culture. But with tech being so volatile, is real estate a safe bet in the long run?
Hmm, that's a good question. It deserves a deeper dive, and we'll get to that. But real estate, it's a tangible asset. It's land, it's buildings. It's inherently valuable, even in a fast-paced market like Silicon Valley.
Okay, so last time we really dug into the myths and the realities of Silicon Valley real estate.
From those incredible tech campuses to the rise of life sciences and sustainable building.
Right. But I keep thinking about location, like how crucial it still is. The source really emphasized those big names, Palo Alto, Cupertino. What makes them so special?
Well, they're practically synonymous with Silicon Valley success, right? Palo Alto, with its Stanford connection, it's been a breeding ground for innovation for decades. It's almost like the birthplace of Silicon Valley.
Wow, yeah. Owning property there must feel like owning a piece of history.
In a way, it is. And then you've got Cupertino, which is basically Apple land.
Right.
The cachet of these companies, it's undeniable. It drives up demand for both residential and commercial real estate.
It's like everyone wants a piece of that success.
Exactly. It's not just about being close to the jobs. It's about being part of that whole ecosystem, the innovation, the success. Being in Palo Alto or Cupertino, it's a status symbol.
So it's this self-perpetuating cycle. Success attracts more success, which drives up prices and so on.
Exactly.
But let's say you're an investor who's looking beyond those established hubs.
Right.
What other areas should they be watching?
The source doesn't give a specific list, but we can make some educated guesses based on the trends.
Okay.
Look at areas with strong transportation links to the major hubs. Easy access to Caltrain, major highways, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. You want to be close enough to the action without breaking the bank. And those mixed-use developments we talked about, they're probably shaping desirability too.
Oh, absolutely. Those live work-play communities, they're magnets for the younger workforce. They want to walk or bike to work, have everything they need right there.
So it's not just geography, it's a lifestyle choice.
It is.
This brings me back to the volatility of the tech industry. We talked about that. How does real estate offer stability in that environment?
It's a good question. It's a market known for its ups and downs. But real estate is different from stocks or crypto, things that fluctuate wildly. Real estate is tangible. It's bricks and mortar, it's land, it's buildings. That inherent value, it offers security, even in a fast-paced market like Silicon Valley.
So it's a hedge against the tech world's craziness.
In a way, yeah.
But even with that stability, you need to be smart,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. You
Yeah.
need to understand the market, the trends, the regulations. Remember, the rules of the game in Silicon Valley, they're always changing.
Right. Zoning reforms, sustainability mandates. Can you give some examples of how those are impacting the market?
Well, the source doesn't get into specifics,
Sure.
but we know what Silicon Valley cities prioritize. Many are encouraging denser, mixed-use developments, especially along transit corridors.
So walkable, sustainable communities. Less reliance on cars.
Exactly. And sustainability mandates, they're pushing developers to go green. Stricter building codes, energy efficiency, water conservation, using sustainable materials.
Makes sense.
Some cities even incentivize going above and beyond those standards.
Wow. It's like a sustainability competition.
Kinda, yeah.
But I imagine all these regulations add complexity, right?
They can, and cost. That's why it's crucial to have a team of experts who can navigate all that and anticipate future changes. Silicon Valley never stands still.
It's all about staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But let's talk about tech's impact on the real estate industry itself.
Okay.
I want to go deeper into specific examples.
One big area of disruption is property management. AI-powered platforms are automating tasks. Tenant screening, rent collection, maintenance requests.
Wow, like a virtual property manager that never sleeps.
Hmm.
What about the buildings themselves? How's tech changing what it's like to live or work in these spaces?
That's where smart buildings come in.
Right.
Buildings with sensors that collect data on everything. Energy consumption, occupancy patterns, you name it.
Sounds a little Big Brother. But I guess that data can be used to optimize things.
It can. Adjust lighting and temperature based on occupancy, personalize settings for individual tenants, create a more comfortable environment.
Wow. So customized. But what about privacy and security with all this tech?
Valid concerns. Developers and property managers need to prioritize data security and transparency. Tenants need to know what data is being collected, how it's used, what control they have.
So finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Exactly.
This whole conversation has been eye-opening. Silicon Valley real estate is so dynamic. It's not just about buildings. It's about understanding the future of work, tech, urban living.
It really is fascinating.
So we've really gone deep on Silicon Valley real estate.
From those mega campuses to AI running buildings, it's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
But are these trends just a Silicon Valley thing or, a glimpse into the future for everyone else?
Well, Silicon Valley has a track record, right?
Yeah.
Personal computers, the internet, social media, they all started there and then boom, changed the world.
So it's not crazy to think real estate could be next,
Yeah.
especially since tech, demographics, sustainability, those are global forces.
Exactly. Like we talked about, younger generations, they want walkable, sustainable communities, amenities, a sense of belonging.
Right, not just a place to live, but a lifestyle.
And those preferences are shaping real estate everywhere, not just in Silicon Valley.
So we could see a global shift then,
Yeah.
away from suburbs and towards denser, more urban areas.
Potentially, yeah.
But what about those cities with tons of history and tradition? Can they really adapt to this Silicon Valley model?
It'll be a challenge for sure. You've got to preserve the character of those historic cities while still meeting the needs of a modern workforce.
Yeah, finding that balance between old and new.
It'll take creative solutions and some smart urban planning.
But it's exciting to think about the possibilities, right?
It is.
Cities designed for people, not cars. Sustainability built into every building. Technology that makes life better without, being creepy.
Sounds pretty utopian.
It does. And it's not totally out there. We're seeing bits of it already. Cities embracing smart tech, prioritizing public transit, encouraging sustainable development.
It's happening.
It's pretty inspiring to see Silicon Valley's influence spreading.
Mm-hmm.
But are there downsides? Like if everyone copies Silicon Valley, won't we lose diversity, end up with all cities looking the same?
That's a valid point. It highlights the need to adapt, to customize. The Silicon Valley model isn't one size fits all. Each city has its own story, its own culture, its own challenges.
So it's about taking inspiration but tailoring it to each place.
Exactly. Learning from the past, embracing the present, shaping the future in a way that, reflects our values.
Love that. And that's what's so great about these deep dives. They spark curiosity, they make us question things, and they help us imagine a better future.
They do.
So to our listener, keep exploring. Look at the trends shaping real estate in your own community. Think about how those forces might change your city.
Pay attention to the conversations around urban planning, sustainability, tech integration. The future of our cities, it's in our hands.
Such a great point. This has been so insightful. I feel like I get it now. What's shaping real estate locally and globally?
It's been a pleasure diving into this with you.
Likewise. And remember, the world of real estate never stops changing.
It doesn't.
So stay curious, stay informed, and keep those questions coming.
Absolutely.
Great advice. And to our listener, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wild world of Silicon Valley commercial real estate.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep imagining what's possible.
See you next time.